Draymond Green stirred up some things on Patrick Beverley's podcast. How bumpy do you think this ride could get?
Chris is joining a team, and this is their team, and that's setting the parameters of the relationship before he even gets there.
I don't know what's up with Draymond Green recently, but it seems like ever since the Golden State Warriors won the 2022 NBA Finals, this man has somehow, someway found a way to grab headlines. Now, you might be looking at this video and thinking,
Mike, you're saying Draymond Green declares war.
Who's he declaring war on? Bro, everybody. No, I'm serious. It's his own teammate. It's his ex-teammate. It's his ex-teammate's dad. It's an NBA Hall of Famer. It's insane the amount of controversy that Draymond Green has created in this one video. So before we get to the content, if you subscribed and turn on our notifications on this channel, check my community tab. There should be 5 giveaway winners announced to split $1,000. And for our next giveaway, let me know what platform you want it to be on. We could run one on Twitter, we could run one on TikTok, we could run one for Instagram followers, and whichever gets the most likes in the comment section, we'll run that giveaway for next. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The Golden State Warriors won the 2022 NBA Finals. Following this, what seemed to be a beautiful come-from-behind story, where a bunch of people thought that the Golden State Warriors' Big Three was past their prime, except for Steph Curry, of course. Draymond Green was an offensive liability. Klay Thompson had no legs to play on, and was a defensive liability. On top of that, they lost Kevin Durant a few seasons prior. Everybody thought that the Warriors were done as a dynasty. But Bob Myers turned lemons into lemonade. Kevin Durant wanted to go to the Brooklyn Nets. Well, he executed a sign and trade for D'Angelo Russell. He would then trade D'Angelo Russell for Andrew Wiggins. Golden State Warriors were very smart in their acquisitions. They drafted Jordan Poole and they developed him. They drafted Jonathan Kuminga as well, who is primed for a breakout season this year. Things were looking up for the Golden State Warriors, and they were able to get the ultimate prize by winning a championship in 2022, following which they rewarded their youth. After Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins famously said they're going to get a bag.
You about to get a bag. You about to get no. You about to get a bag. We about to get a bag.
The Warriors would extend both of them. These were the final contract extensions that they would give out before the new CBA would completely alter everything, preventing teams from trying to draft homegrown talent and pay them well as a reward of developing well. They just didn't want any more teams like the Golden State Warriors, I suppose. But I digress. Unfortunately, this past year wouldn't be anything close to the year before. During the offseason, Draymond Green would famously punch the living crap out of Jordan Poole. Video footage would get leaked online. And throughout the entire season, the Warriors took a huge step back. They struggled on the road. They weren't nearly as dominant as they were the year prior. Jordan Poole lost his mojo, quite literally, in the regular season and especially in the playoffs. I mean, the Warriors did absolutely everything they could, and it became very clear that they had a choice to make. We either could continue building around our youth, or we could do whatever it takes to make our big three happy. There's a theory that the reason why Bob Myers left is because, well, he felt like he was going to have to betray Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry at some point. But the supporting argument for this was Draymond Green was threatening to leave in free agency. Klay Thompson could leave in free agency next year. And both of those players, though relatively good players in the NBA, are clearly not in their prime anymore. Klay Thompson is a defensive liability at this point. So the Warriors had a decision to make. Do they choose Jordan Poole, James Wiseman, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and the youth that they assembled on their roster, or do they do everything they possibly can to retool for one final championship run with their existing big three? They didn't completely give up on their future, but so far, they're 2 of 2 in trying to make decisions to make their big three happy. The first decision was when they decided to trade James Wiseman and bring back Gary Payton II. Gary Payton II barely played for the Warriors, by the way. They pretty much donated the number 2 overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft, which they selected over LaMelo Ball, might I remind you, just so they could have a chance at improving team chemistry. It failed miserably. The Warriors eventually would get bounced out by the Los Angeles Lakers, but not before we truly saw what was going on with the Warriors behind the scenes. Jordan Poole, the player that was the X factor for the Golden State Warriors in their 2022 championship run, who got a huge contract extension, a 4-year, $123 million extension. He took a pay cut to stay with the Warriors, ended up playing horrifically. Very very uninspired, might I add. You would see clips of the Golden State Warriors trying to hype him up. You would see him make mistakes on the easiest of possessions. Everybody and their mother knew that Jordan Poole wasn't 100% locked in. You could say it's for whatever reason. You could say the Draymond Green incident humbled him, or you could just say that he had a lot of false confidence. Because there are a lot of players in the NBA that didn't necessarily like Jordan Poole, Damian Lillard being one of them.
Maybe like 2 years ago, we played against Golden State. Steph was hurt, and he scored on me. He hit a shot, he hit a three, and he started talking shit. I don't talk. I kind of look back like, what? So I think I had like 40, but we lost at Golden State. I'm at the free throw line, and he's just back there just talking. So I turned to him, and I'm like, man, shut up. He was like, make me. Then like shortly after that, we played him on, I think, MLK Day, and he was on the bench, and I started the game real slow. He says, oh, he ain't on tonight. So I turn and look at him. Draymond is sitting next to him. In that game, I ended up scoring 60 points, and we beat him. And I just remember telling Draymond, like, man, I don't mess with that dude like that. Like, I don't like him.
Now, regardless, the second decision the Warriors made to truly show their commitment to Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry was choosing Draymond Green over Jordan Poole. The right decision, if I might add. You can find streaky three-point shooters in the NBA that are similar to Jordan Poole. Hell, we have a short on the Golden State Warriors developing their Jordan Poole clone, Lester Quinones. So what would they do? Well, as a result of potentially pressure from their big three, and most probably because of the impending changes to the collective bargaining agreement, the Warriors traded Jordan Poole and got Chris Paul in return. A much better contract for a player that is quite literally dangling to the last bit of productivity he has in his career, in a Hall of Fame career, might I add. Player that Warriors have had a contentious relationship with in the past.
I don't like CP at all. Like, we don't have a good relationship at all, but I respect his hustle and I respect his IQ. He's smart as hell.
And even recently, you had Draymond Green saying he didn't like Chris Paul.
I publicly said I didn't like Chris before. Like, I'm just not going to be like, oh man, that changed. Now he's my teammate. No, I look forward to talking amongst men. I look forward to working with another adult, you know.
And there's this whole issue currently. There's a whole new set of drama of Chris Paul being a member of the Golden State Warriors. There was this interview about whether or not he'd be willing to come off of the bench.
Okay, well, I don't know what the situation is going to be yet. You know what I mean? So I think that'll be for us to figure out once we get going.
You've never come off the bench your entire career. Is that something that you'd be willing to do?
Like I said, it'll be a conversation for us when camp starts or whatnot. But me and Steve have talked or whatnot, but that ain't something that you be like, what up, man? Where you starting? You coming up? You know what I mean? So I think we'll figure all that stuff out in camp.
And this was originally supposed to be its own video, but there's so much more content on the Warriors and on Draymond Green that I just kind of have to integrate it into this video. And I'm sure those issues are going to get sifted out, mainly because I'm sure a 38-year-old player in the NBA will be content with not playing 32 minutes per game. And hell, you even had Draymond Green mentioning what Chris Paul brings to their offense.
He brings a couple things. After the Lakers series, Steph said in his press conference, we ran out of variety. If they're taking this away, then you can go to this. If they're taking that away, then you can move to this. Our team last year didn't have a variety of ways that we could score. And I think CP adds another thing to the menu. But I'll tell you one more thing that I think it unlocks, and I actually look forward to learning this from him. I think Chris Paul will completely unlock Jonathan Kuminga and his growth. CP is great with young guys. DeAndre Ayton looked like a bust before CP came to Phoenix. No disrespect to Ayton, but more so a nod to CP.
Yeah.
What he will do for Jonathan Kuminga and unlocking Kuminga is huge.
Now, this is all before we even talk about the war that Draymond Green is declaring. While Jordan Poole and Draymond Green have had a contentious relationship in the past, Jordan Poole has taken the high road, more or less. Whenever he's asked about the incident, he just smiles and doesn't really say much about it. Look.
Have you heard from Draymond?
But Draymond Green, for some reason, just loves hanging on to this and loves bringing it up over and over again. My personal theory is because he wants his podcast to grow, and he knows this little bit of drama is something that he could always talk about, especially because the Warriors recently traded Jordan Poole. But here's Draymond Green on the incident.
I don't just hit people. Dialogue, of course, happens over time, and you usually ain't just triggered by something like that fast to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nobody on my team triggering me, in an instant. We know stuff that you don't say amongst men. You know what I'm saying? We know things that you have to stand on.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the war begins. Now, to be honest, I personally don't think Draymond Green said anything wrong there. I think it's just a topic that he's always going to get asked about until maybe another 3 months from now, or maybe it's going to be brought back up whenever the Wizards play against the Warriors. If you see Draymond Green and Jordan Poole not dap each other up, obviously the media is going to make a big deal out of that. But I don't think Draymond Green said anything wrong here. It's just the media likes taking the story and going with it. All he's saying is this wasn't an impulse decision. There's been a lot of things that Jordan Poole has been doing building up to this moment that got me to the point where I punched the living crap out of him. But Jordan Poole wouldn't respond to this. Jordan Poole's dad would respond to this. And man, Jordan Poole's dad just didn't back down here, saying that I'm gonna stand on this, that it's some BS. Jordan Poole was his guy, and he avoided me all last year. He is a soft and I'm standing on this, and he didn't apologize to me and my wife. So he lame, and me and him can meet anytime he wants. So I'm assuming Jordan Poole's dad wanted an apology from Draymond Green for Draymond Green punching the living crap out of Jordan Poole. At least that's what I'm gathering from this. But Draymond Green would respond saying, that's so cute. It's impossible to avoid you in an arena for an entire year. I gotta get my family from that family room every game. And stop using those words. They usually don't go over well amongst men. I love how Draymond is now playing the, hey, I'm a man. Let's act manly about this situation. I mean, bro, you punched the living crap out of your teammate. It went viral. There's nothing manly about that. Hell, even his apology back then was shaky. Watch.
I was wrong for my actions that took place on Wednesday. And for that, I have apologized to my team. I have apologized to Jordan. And I wanted to take that a step further, with the event yesterday, with the video leaking. There is a huge embarrassment that comes with that. Not only for myself as I was the one that committed the action, the embarrassment that comes for me is what it is, and that's something that I have to deal with. But the embarrassment that Jordan has to deal with, and that this team has to deal with, that this organization has to deal with, but also Jordan's family. His family saw that video. His mother, his father saw that video. And quite frankly, if my mother saw that video, I know how my mother would feel. I know what her I know what her reaction would be, and I know what her next step would be. And so for that, I apologize to his mother and his father and, his family, his friends, that care for him.
Now, Jordan Poole's response to this was perfect. I mean, he posted a reel onto Instagram of him working out and said, talk of the topic, find you a hobby. Which, I have to agree with Jordan Poole. Like, how many more times is Draymond Green gonna bring up this incident? It seems like he brings it up at least once a month when his name is not really trending as much as it was before. And this wasn't the only thing that Draymond Green did today, by the way. Draymond Green also got fooled into declaring war on Kevin Garnett. This page drives me insane. NBA Centel, the NBA Centel. It once got me in a really bad way, which I didn't retweet it or anything, but it got my hopes up when they said that LeVar Ball was going to be Skip Bayless's brand new co-host on Undisputed. And it got my hopes up, but I was able to tell eventually it wasn't NBA Central, it was the NBA Centel, which, by the way, Elon Musk, I understand that Twitter needs to make revenue, but giving everyone verified check marks is really starting to screw us up. Now, I have to admit, this is pretty funny though. Kevin Garnett calls out Draymond Green. Draymond punching JP is like a senior punching a freshman who's half his size and then walks around talking himself up as if he's like that. Come try me, Dre. Draymond Green would quote tweet this and said, I tried you when I was a rookie, KG, and you started talking to yourself like I wasn't talking to you. What's that like? The freshman picking on a senior citizen that's double his size. And the best part of this is he quite literally ats Kevin Garnett. Shout out to Kevin Garnett, by the way. I think he liked our reel once on Instagram. Appreciate you, KG. Now, Kevin Garnett luckily took the high road here because we know KG loves to talk trash. And he said, that's a fake tweet, NBA Centel, at Elon Musk, see WTF is happening. Which, shout out to KG, this could have gotten way, way, way worse. At the end of the day, I think Draymond Green is headed down a very dangerous path. His career is winding to a close. He understands that the best way to trend is to generate some sort of controversy, and it seems like whenever he's not being controversial, he leans on old controversy. It's kind of like the trap that some YouTubers fall into. I mean, not here, obviously, but like my good friend Jamari just made a video on the Island Boys. The Island Boys haven't been relevant in years, so what do? They resort to kissing each other for clout? Or how about this? I'll do you one better. Adam22's podcast, No Jumper, has faded off into obscurity. So what does he do? He marries his OnlyFans girlfriend of 7 years, and then he decides to allow her to get BBC'd for the whole world to see. And obviously this is an extreme. I don't think Draymond Green has to stoop to that level in order to trend or generate some sort of controversy about himself, but he is on the road. He is beginning on this road of trying to lean on his past controversial moments in order to keep his name in headlines, possibly to generate more attention for his post-NBA venture, which is his podcast, which he would probably want to leverage into a studio position, which I think he's going to do a great job in, by the way. But of course, I'm saying a very extreme scenario. What do you guys think of this situation? Do you think Draymond Green is off the rails? Do you think he needs to take a step back a little bit? Or do you think I'm being melodramatic a little bit? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.